Hey guys, how's it going? We are ready to go here in just a short little while. I'm going to be putting up the premiere of the last Amityville teaser trailer. It's pretty short. It's only in a minute and a half. I think it actually goes by pretty quickly, but it kind of gets you the gist of what the movie's about. I just figured I would do a quick little, just a little live thing here and do some questions and answers. If you guys have any questions about the movie or what it's about or any of that stuff, this is kind of the place to go for it. The trailer will be running live, like on the channel, perpetually after this. So if you missed the premiere, it will be going on there. And I want to thank all you guys for coming here. Mark Rothenbuehler said, "Is this the first trailer for the last Amityville?" It is indeed. This is the first that most people are getting to see it. A couple of people have gotten some sneak previews along the way. And actually tonight we're having a little get together at the house and doing the first watch through of the entire movie. Sorry. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It is, I've had a lot of people ask about it being, if it will be the last Amityville movie. And clearly it's not actually going to be, because other people are going to put their movies out that are going to have the word Amityville in the title. But when you see this film, story-wise, it actually does definitively end the arc of all of the Amityville movies. I found a way to tie in every movie with the word Amityville in the title will be kind of justified by this movie. So even the ones that don't have Amityville in the plot, where like something like Amityville Cop or whatever like that, basically, if something has the word Amityville in the title, it is, because of my movie, legitimately a part of the franchise. And that'll make sense when you actually watch the movie. But yeah, Jean-Louis asked, when will the movie be available to watch? And I do not know yet. I'm now that the movie is mostly finished, I think it's about 90% there. We're going to tonight. We're doing a test screening just amongst a couple of friends that are coming over to actually watch it through. I'm going to take my notes, see what needs to be changed, altered, cut. I feel like it's a little long. The movie is currently an hour and 39 minutes long, and I feel like that's a touch longer than I wanted. I want it to be right around an hour 30. I'd be willing to go up to an hour 35. But I want to cut it. I want to trim it down a little bit. So tonight I'm going to actually see what needs to be kind of trimmed down. All of the effects are done. There are some pretty crazy effects in the movie. They are done. We have a really cool creature in the movie that is designed by a guy named Jeremy Aiello. That's who my friend Mikey Rotella got me in touch with and helped work it out there. And yes, Amityville Vibrator is legit in the franchise, and it is actually specifically mentioned within the movie. So there, it will be in there. And yeah, everything that says Amityville up until this point will be made valid by the plot line of the movie, which again, you'll see. There are quite a few practical effects in the movie. There are some digital effects in the movie as well too, mainly because of budget. I don't have a ton of budget, so I had to do some things digitally. There is some of that, and there is some practical effects that are assisted by some digital tweaking that I did. We had a really cool monster mask that I did a couple of like little minor animations on the face to kind of make it to move it a little bit more, which is pretty cool. But now that the movie is mostly done, it is about seeking distribution. And there are a couple of companies that I do want to send it out to see about getting it distributed and getting it out there into the world. I do want to kind of get out there in these places get it in your red boxes, get it on the streaming services, all that stuff. I would love all of that. So at this particular point, it will be about finding that right distributor. That's the next step. I have a couple of things set up. I have a couple of people that I want to send to, and we'll go from there. This week will be about sending out the packages to those people, to the things. And I will say that I don't really think that there's any Ryan Reynolds styles abs in this movie, but I will say that there's probably a little bit more of me in this movie that I know that my mom would probably be not comfortable with seeing it. Although I don't have abs. I haven't had abs in a very long time. I have storage pods for pizza is what I have instead of having abs. But there's a little bit of skin. Most of the movie is me. I'm in a lot of it. The plot, in case you guys haven't seen it, I'll give you the short version of what the plot is. The movie is set during a global pandemic. It's not COVID. It's a new pandemic that happens in the plot line of the movie. I'm stuck in my house alone with Christy and Stella. They were away. So I'm here by myself. And a mysterious package shows up with a artifact from the Amityville house. It is a mysterious doorknob. And after I get it, weird things start to happen in the house. Some spooky stuff. That's the basic premise for it. And this is not quite an Amityville cat. This is more of she's more of a Camp Blood cat. But it was an idea that the original idea was had during the pandemic, but I didn't necessarily want it to be about the pandemic. So like the whole virus aspect of the movie it's like more of like a MacGuffin than anything else. It's just a reason to keep me in the house and keep me from leaving the house more than it is an actual story element. So it plays a part, but it is not. It's a minor aspect. The ghosts and demons are far more of a plot point than the viral pandemic aspect of it is. So, but there you go. Will there be any turkeys or sharks or zombies in this movie? There is no turkey. There are some sharks, like photographs of sharks in the background, but no actual swimming sharks. And there are no zombies, but there are demons. There is some creatures and some spooky ghosts definitely going on there. Is there any boobage at all? I mean, I have boobs. You definitely get to see my boobs. Absolutely. But that's probably about it. There's not a ton of nudity. There's not a lot of opportunities for nudity in the movie, but there you go. It does have some pretty cool people that were in it, that we managed to get in the flick. My friend Chris Costanzo, who has been in quite a few things, and he was in Five-Headed Shark Attack. He was in one of my episodes as well, too. He was in a short film that I did. He has a small part in the film. He's pretty great. Chase O'Donnell, who is an up-and-coming stand-up comic who has been like headlining these major shows. It's crazy how popular she's gotten just since we filmed this. It's insane. She's in the movie as well, too. If you're a punk rock fan, Jack Grisham, the lead singer of TSOL, he is in the movie. It's pretty great. We got a lot of lineup. Christy, my wife, is in the movie. I have a whole bunch of my patrons in the movie. Actually, I gave an opportunity for if you're a patron of the channel, you had an opportunity to be in the movie. So it's pretty cool. So we've got a lot of those in there. There are one or two jump scares, although I will say that the majority of the scares are more creepy scares. I'm not a big fan of like boo kind of things. I'm more of like the what is that? What is that back there? Kind of spookiness. So there is some of that. but yeah, that's kind of the way I go with. I was more kind of when it comes to like scary stuff, I'm more along the lines of like say the Hell House LLC, where it's kind of like where you sort of think you see something going on in the background, and it's like creepy. It's like, what was that? What did I just see? That's the kind of stuff that I find scarier more than I'm walking around a corner and something jumps out at me. It's like, ah. So you don't see much of that. There's like one or two moments where there's definitely like something is like suddenly there. But for the most part, it's kind of more unsettling things. But yeah. And yeah, I promise there are no 45-minute Skype call scenes. There are definitely Skype call scenes in the movie to kind of help keep the plot going. But there's a lot of variation with it, and I'd say there's more going on in the house with me and the weird, crazy stuff that's going on in here. I will tell you that when you watch the movie, one of the things that I kind of wanted to go in big with is rewatch value, and I will tell you that if you pay attention to the background of things, you will see a lot of other stuff going on. We threw a lot of like little tidbits in there that are kind of cool. Like for instance, if this were the movie, I would have had a ghost sitting back here somewhere, or whatever, like I walking through. I don't know, something along those lines. I kind of wanted to do those fun things. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I'm pretty excited. And having Mikey make this really amazing mask for me, which was really, really cool. It increased the production value of the movie like 1,000 times. It looks so awesome that we get this final monster that sort of resembles it's sort of, all I'll tell you is that if you've seen Amityville 2 and 3, this thing may seem vaguely familiar in a way, without looking just like it. We did get some cool locations in there as well too. Most of the movie, because the plot of the movie is that I'm trapped in a house, most of the location is this house. But we did actually get to go out to this really cool canyon location out in the middle of nowhere. It's basically right down the road. It's the same kind of general vicinity of where they filmed Nope. So like that area, if you guys don't know, the movie Nope was filmed in an area out by a place called Vasquez Rocks, which are these gigantic rock formations in these out sort of near the desert of Los Angeles. And there's some really cool things, like they filmed the classic Star Trek episode there. They filmed so many science fiction movies there. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey was there. So many movies were filmed out there. And in that area, there's a lot of like little canyon and rocky areas. And that's where they filmed Nope at as well too. So right down the road from that is this really cool canyon with a guy that has a location with like some old burned out trucks and trailers and stuff like that. And we got that place, and we filmed quite a bit there. The whole finale of the movie takes place at that place, which is really cool. You'll see a little bit of that in the trailer. So yeah, the trailer's coming up in about 15 minutes. It is scheduled to go live at noon. I'm going to end this broadcast about 5 minutes beforehand, and then you'll see there'll be the link to go up and check out the trailer when it goes up. Again, it's only a minute and a half trailer, which I think looks pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it. I know that some of the patrons did get to see a rough cut of the movie, so I know that some of those people have seen it. And yes, absolutely, in Canyon Country. That is absolutely where we filmed it. It's just me. Mark asked, if the budget was no problem, what would you have done differently besides extra effects? If budget was no problem, I probably wouldn't have made this particular movie. The script of this was specifically written around the fact that I only have this much money to make it. Honestly, if budget was no problem, I'd be making a much bigger, grandiose movie. I have some other scripts and other ideas that I want to do, and I probably would want to make one of those instead of this, because this was, again, the whole reason for this movie existing was, how can I make a movie on like $50? And so that's kind of where this came from. Nerdy Goth asked, did I film the interiors at my house? Absolutely. We filmed everything right here. Again, because of budget, to keep a location and to have it here, it made it pretty easy, because that way I could schedule to shoot just right around here, and I could do it on my own leisure and film how I wanted to. So it made it pretty easy to do. So again, but yeah, excuse me. Really quick, I do want to call out, because one of my patrons, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, is here, and I do want to take a second to tell him happy birthday. And if you guys can all tell him happy birthday as well too, and if you get a chance, go to his channel, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. It is his birthday. On his birthday, you should absolutely go subscribe to his channel. So it's just me. Mark also asked if there's any Amityville-esque window shots. That was something I could not do that I would have loved to have done. I joked around at one time about like digitally changing my window over here to be half moon shaped. But that is something that I don't really know how to do. My digital effects work is not that advanced at this particular point. I do have, like, I have some digital effects skills and things I can do, but I'm not at that level yet. But there is some cool stuff in there. There's some pretty cool stuff. I don't want to give away what you're going to see, but there is some cool stuff. And the trailer specifically doesn't really give a ton away. I didn't want to show the monster really too much, because again, I think it's a cool thing, and I don't want you to see it in the trailer. You get like maybe a flash of it, but not too much. That was probably one of the hardest things to do when coming up with the trailer was, do I show this stuff? This is really cool and it'll make people want to see the movie. But then again, it's like, do I want to leave that to be revealed in the movie? And a lot of it, I wanted it to be in the movie. Udvara1 asked, where can we watch the trailer? The trailer will be available right here on the channel in about 15 minutes. It goes live at noon. It will be up on the channel. There'll be a link to it. Pretty easy to go watch it there. And so there we go. It was just so much fun, guys. I got to tell you, making this movie was insanely fun. I really, really want to do another one after this, maybe on a slightly larger level. I do think that, I wanted to try to make something that when you watched it, it felt like you were watching Amityville something, but not like you were watching the typical Amityville. I happen to enjoy most of the Amityville movies. Like, some of them are a little bit hard to watch, but for the most part, I think that there are a lot of them are really fun for me. And you guys know I love backyard, low budget movies. Like, they're my bread and butter. But I kind of wanted to make something that would be considered better than the standard Amityville movie that you're getting. My goal is, when you watch it, that you're not just like, okay, well, this is a good Amityville movie. I kind of want you to enjoy it and say, this is a good movie. But yeah, the last Bigfoot movie, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. My plans after this one, I do have another script that I would really like to do after this one. If I get an opportunity, it's another one that I think that I can make on a modest budget. And it is my take on a vampire thing, I guess. It's very it's a very aggressive, crazy vampire movie that sort of shifts around the lore a little bit. It's sort of like a hybrid vampire zombie thing, I guess. It's different. It's sort of my take on the whole mythos of things that I would like to do as well. If not, I would. There's another one that I would like to do that is essentially a parody of Friday the 13th in a way. But that one would be probably a little bit more expensive. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, and also I should say I because Nerdy Goth pointed out that I have a full-time job and a family. I don't have a full-time job anymore. This is my full-time job. Taking care of Stella and doing this channel has become my full-time job. So hopefully filmmaking will become a little bit more of a job. But it is, taking care of my daughter is basically the full-time job as well. I would make a Camp Blood movie. Absolutely. That is something that I would do, because that'd be another one that I'd be like, oh, hey, let's try and make this, but better. So we'll see. I mean, Camp Blood is, I prefer the bad Amityvilles than I do to the bad Camp Bloods. I don't know why, because most of the bad Camp Bloods are just people walking around in the woods, and there's not a lot of variation to it. Whereas I feel like each Amityville movie, you're getting very different things, so each one is kind of unique, whereas the Camp Blood movies tend to be same old. I thought that Polonia did some fun stuff with I think Children of Camp Blood, where it was like ghost stuff going on and everything like that. I thought that was like, oh, cool, he's switching it up a little bit, so that was kind of fun. But for the most part, yeah, those ones are not really my favorite. But yeah, I do have probably a good 4 to 5 other scripts for horror movies that I've written in the past that I would like to see made in one way or another. The vampire kind of thing is the kind of the most oriented one I would go. I do have one that I just finished up that is copywritten now that I would love to get made, but it's extremely expensive, that I would love, which is about a special effects. The movie's called Practical Effects, and it's about a practical effects shop with a whole bunch of creatures, and those creatures come to life, and the special effects guys that work for the studio have to go and kill and take down their own creations. So you've got all these different monsters. There's like a little gremlin monster, there's like a werewolf, there's a weird boar thing. And they're all like these practical creatures that they created. So now they have to go and fight those, which is, I would love to make that. That is my goal to do. But that will be a very expensive movie to make. So hopefully at any point we'll get there, but we'll see. Are there any plans to make parts 2 and 3 that you can go fully meta and make a timeline video? There is, again, without giving anything away of the plot here, there's not a ton of leeway here to do a sequel. There's a bit. I mean, maybe, but I don't think it would be a direct sequel to this. It'd be kind of difficult, and that will make more sense after you actually see the movie, where it should make sense. But we got about 10 more minutes to go, 9 minutes to go until we get to the trailer launch. Any last questions? I'm going to log off of this at about 11:55, so we got about 3 more minutes. Any other last questions you guys have about the last Amityville movie that is coming out? So I know for one, I'm getting excited about you guys being able to see this trailer. A lot of people have worked very hard, interestingly, because even though the movie was filmed in the house, a lot of people are in the movie. Oh, Lost in Masses. Chris is here. Chris actually did some fantastic music for the movie as well, too. Actually, the ending theme song really kicks ass in this movie. So I'm very, very happy about that. So thank you, Chris. The song is amazing. And one of Chris's friends, Ian, provided a little bit of score for the beginning of the movie as well, too. So there's not a ton of music in the movie because it is sort of found footagey. So there's not a ton of music, but we ended up getting some pretty cool tunes in there. So, but yeah, beyond that, you've got some pretty cool stuff coming up just on the regular channel in general. You're getting a very cool timeline. It's one that I've really been going, that I've been putting off for a while. You're finally getting the Prophecy movies timeline is coming tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited about that. And this Friday is another 80s Project video. I know everyone loves the 80s Project. That's finally coming up. From 1 to 5, how much is the movie silly to serious? It's an even mix. There's actually some very serious moments in the movie. There's one moment in the movie that I feel like it might be too serious. And I'm like, does this fit with the rest of the movie? It's kind of disturbing. But there's definitely jokes. It is a horror comedy. There's definitely horror in it. There's people die, definitely. There is some blood and gore. And there is absolutely comedy going on as well too. So you're going to get some of that as well. What can I compare this movie with? I don't know. I'm not good at that. I'm really like, I feel like somebody else would need to watch it and tell me, oh, you can compare it to this. But that's something I'm not good at, of being able to judge like, okay, well, I think this is better. Like, I think this is comparable to this. I don't really know. I was asked if I ever covered Poltergeist, and I have not. I am planning to do that before the ending of the year. That's actually something that I do want to get to this year, the Poltergeist timeline. And also, Lost Bass has asked if I do a sequel crossover for The Last Amityville and The Complex. The Complex is the movie I made like 10 years ago. I probably don't. I don't see that happening. Those two universes are very different. Brandon, thank you. My wife absolutely decorated. She has done up this house like crazy. Quick story here, because I only got a minute or so left. We moved into this place 2 weeks before lockdown in 2020. So within the first month or so, all of our stuff was unpacked and everything was decorated, because we had nothing else to do but unpack. So it was kind of crazy how quickly this place became lived in. The Complex, someone asked where you can watch The Complex. It's on the channel. If you go into my videos and search The Complex, it will show up. But yeah, a slaughter count. Will you allow me to do a kill count on it? Sure. Yeah, go ahead. I'm totally fine with it. Again, it's not available as of yet, but when it becomes available, I imagine it will be out there. I'm really hoping to, like I said, hoping to get the last Amityville movie distributed through a legit company, and we'll see who takes me up on the offer. It should be pretty interesting. This is not my first movie. It is my second feature film. The first one is The Complex, which is more of a comedy. It's a weird, dark comedy, and it is on my channel. It's absolutely not my first script. I have about probably 10 to 15 scripts, but there you go. With that, I'm going to log off, because in about 4 minutes from now, on this same channel, you'll be able to watch the last Amityville trailer. I believe the link is up right now. It's going to be in premiere format at first, but then it'll just be available to watch as much as you want. It's only a minute and a half. It's a pretty quick, easy watch. So thank you guys. Go now, check out the trailer, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.